In a 2018 poll, 50% of Americans believed space tourism will be routine for ordinary people by 2068. 32% believed long-term habitable space colonies will be built by 2068. So here comes Jeff Bezos. Hot on the heels of its first crewed flight to suborbital space, Blue Origin reiterated that it wants a NASA Moonlander contract and stressed that it's willing to put a lot of its own money into the effort. Let's find out how this could heat up the space race again. Hello everyone, welcome to Bezos Space. Consider subscribing and enabling bell notification. You'll never miss another important video again. Jeff Bezos has a solution for climate change, and it's as bold-sounding as you might think. The Amazon founder suggested we move all heavy industry off Earth before zoned exclusively for residences or light manufacturing only. This could reverse some major climate effects on our planet while still settling new habitats in outer space. Alright, but we know Bezos is not going to do it for fun. It'll be a long-term investment. Blue Origin, the rocket company he founded more than 2 decades ago, conducts its first human spaceflight in 2021. The trip brought some renewed attention to Blue Origin, which has taken a slower approach to the development of its vehicles than the other companies, and recently lost out to SpaceX in a bid to build the next lander that would carry NASA astronauts back to the moon. However, NASA has announced it won't be putting humans on the moon again until at least 2025, and has blamed Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin for the delay. Blue Origin doesn't give up so easily though. Bezos wrote this: "Instead of investing in 2 competing lunar landers as originally intended, the agency chose to confer a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar head start to SpaceX," Bezos wrote in the letter to NASA. In one of the reports, it is claimed that the Amazon founder has decided to fly Amazon to the moon along with NASA's Artemis 1 mission. Isn't that amazing? Before jumping into the news, let's know what exactly the Artemis 1 mission by NASA is all about. Before moving into it, don't forget to press the like button. A planned uncrewed test flight for NASA's Artemis program, Artemis 1, will be the agency's first launch using its Space Launch System Super Heavy Lift vehicle and the first use of Orion MPCV. According to the Inspector General, Artemis 1 is anticipated to launch no earlier than March 2022. However, the launch may be delayed to summer 2022. The mission will ensure the Orion space apparatus and Space Launch System send-off vehicle for RAN flights, starting with the subsequent flight trial of the Orion and Space Launch System, Artemis 2. The Orion space apparatus for Artemis 1 was stacked on 20th of October 2021, denoting the initial time a very weighty lift vehicle has been stacked inside the Vehicle Assembly Building, or VAB, since Skylab. A rocket will send the new Orion Multipurpose Crew Vehicle, or MPCV, on a 236,000-mile-long, the equivalent of 380,000 kilometers long, excursion to the moon. If all goes to design, it will be trailed by a maintained mission, Artemis 2, in 2024. It will test everything out in Earth's circle. Then, at that point, it's the maximum speed for the set of experiences, making the Artemis 3 team arrive on the lunar South Pole and go through 7 days there in 2025. Artemis 1 will be away for somewhere in the range of 26 and 42 days. It'll require 14 days to get to the moon, where it will dive down near the lunar surface and utilize the gravitational kick it gets to enter an alleged far-off retrograde circle. Retrograde implies that it will circle the moon the opposite way to the one it turns in. It will remain in that circle for somewhere in the range of 6 and 19 days. Then, at that point, it will swing down towards the moon for one more kick to assist with fueling its 9-day multi-day venture back to Earth. That is huge. Aren't you amazed to know these facts? The best you could do is share this with your friends and colleagues. Getting back to the main news, it is said that the Amazon Alexa will be tested on the unmanned lunar round-trip mission, Artemis 1. Well, the news is undoubtedly bizarre. Just think of an astronaut ordering Alexa to take him to the moon. Although the clarification on the same is yet to arrive, there are certain speculations that NASA has decided on how Artemis missions will be conducted and how SpaceX's starships will land astronauts on the moon, and then in Boca Chica. The launch tower is almost prepared to catch the launched Starship with its giant mechanical arms called as Mechazilla, and at last the world-famous James Webb Space Telescope, which is now already fully deployed to get some awesome stuff. NASA's Artemis 1 mission, scheduled for takeoff this March 2022, means to send an Orion shuttle around the moon. The Lodge will be to a great extent unfilled, save for an intelligent tablet that has been named Callisto, which will sit set up to confront a space traveler life-sized model. Callisto is a touchscreen gadget that highlights reconfigured renditions of Alexa, Amazon's voice collaborator, and Cisco's video chatting stage WebEx. Among the numerous perspectives that will be firmly watched on the ground, basically by the gathering behind this Alexa initiative, is how the remote helper acts in space. What's more, if nothing else, it'll be some all-around set publicizing. It's all essential for cooperation between Amazon, Cisco, and Lockheed Martin, which constructed the Orion case for NASA. Lockheed moved toward the other two organizations with fostering a remote helper around 3 years prior, the organizations said, and they are paying the full expense of including the menial helper on the Artemis 1 mission. Lockheed is likewise repaying NASA for any assistance the organization has loaned on this task through a game plan called a Space Act Agreement, which permits the Space Office to be made up for aptitude or assets it provides for organizations chipping away at specific space-related activities. Alexa will want to get to continuous telemetry information and answer specific inquiries regarding the mission, similar to how quick the case is voyaging. Notwithstanding, the AI will want to control just a single part of the Artemis 1 flight: the Lodge lighting. However, the Callisto group envisions a future in which the framework could be arranged to control other equipment like cameras. Utilizing NASA's Deep Space Network, Callisto will test Alexa's capacity to run without a web association and the practicality of WebEx. Alexa will give data about the rocket, like for example telemetry information, direction, water supply levels, battery voltage, and the sky's the limit from there. Alexa can likewise control some locally available settings like temperature for the shade of the lights. The framework, named Callisto after a sidekick of the goddess Artemis in Greek folklore, intends to one day make space explorers' occupations simpler. For example, they could utilize Alexa to change the Lodge lighting while at the same time performing different errands, or for the most part find long, challenging trips across space more pleasant by having the option to interface with friends and family back on Earth through WebEx, as per the organizations. The organizations behind Callisto said the framework has been tried on the ground, yet a lot of inquiries concerning how it will work remain. Also, whether future space explorers may sometime or another view it as a resource stays obscure. No Artemis space travelers have tried the framework even on the ground at this point, as per the organizations. It's muddled, for instance, how well the WebEx conferencing framework will work. It ought to be noticed that space explorers have consistently been able to speak with individuals on the ground utilizing existing correspondence frameworks. It is right now conceivable to set up a video visit with space travelers on the International Space Station, for instance. Yet connecting with a hypersonic shuttle flying multiple 100,000 miles from Earth is troublesome, and, at certain places in the excursion, will be unthinkable. In any case, Cisco trusts WebEx can improve space explorers' capacity to convey and organize with individuals on the ground, maybe being utilized to set up gatherings and meetings with different members. That is, assuming a satisfactory association can be set up. Sketchy web availability additionally presents difficulties for Alexa. Amazon's shrewd speaker gadgets in individuals' homes need a web association with process inquiries and recover data. In any case, Rubinson said the rendition of Alexa utilized for the Callisto framework has been reconfigured to work generally disconnected, hypothetically equipped for giving future space explorers live updates on their flight direction, for instance. Yet the framework would, in any case, require an association if space explorers somehow happen to request modern data on earthly goings-on. As per the available news, this is all that we have for you. But the story doesn't end here. If Alexa goes to space, it will be one of the most stunning and unimaginable things to ever happen. Stay tuned with us to know more about it, and we will surely give you all the updates on the same. And please answer in the comment section, what will happen next to this race of space? If you're satisfied with this informative video, all you need to do is like the video, and if you want us to tell you more about such amazing things, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yes, do press the bell button to keep getting regular updates about more such things. Till we meet again, stay healthy and keep following us.